Welcome, everyone. So they say a good panel is you leave the room with more questions, probably, but then we're still going to get answers from them. So I just have a couple of questions to ask. I think I'll start by asking first is that in your years of running organizations, what is the leadership gap you keep seeing across the industry? So, Adebayo first.
Oh, okay, me. Okay. I think gap that I've seen across will be on execution, right? Execution has been that gap. So we have a lot of organizations who have invested a lot in terms of strategy development and all of those things, and then it remains a document on the CEO's laptop, right? But in terms of execution, it takes a whole lot of discipline for you to stick to the plan and execute it properly. So for me, execution would have been that gap that I've consistently seen in an organization.
Okay, so taking away from what you have said, I think I will focus more on people issues and around capacity building. So apart from it being a particular template on the CEO's desk, we need people, persons, process to be in place to be able to execute accordingly. So what we find, the gap we find nowadays is that when we were growing up, all the things our leaders transferred into us, we don't see that in the new generation in this world, where we transfer so much knowledge into them and we expect them to, because the leader cannot do everything at a particular point, especially when you are expanding from the growth stage into maturity. You find out that the knowledge is still very, very not sufficient enough to be able to fully implement and execute. That's the gap I've noticed.
Okay, so say execution and then people to implement that. Okay, thank you so much. So my second question is, why do you think so many technically brilliant people struggle the moment they're given a team to lead?
Okay, so to manage a team is not only about having the technical knowledge. It has to be behavioral also. You have to combine different leadership styles. Some leaders are transformational leaders. We learn today about situational leadership. So it's a combination of different set of leadership. Sometimes when situation arises itself, there are certain decisions that need to be taken at that point. You need to be a bit of autocratic, a bit of democratic, a bit of situation. So combine all these ingredients to be able to execute, meet the goal that is achieved. So just being on the one side there, right? Being technical, like you put it, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's not sufficient enough to achieve the goal that you want to do.
I think that point is quite very valid, right? Technical points will not get you to where you want to be. Of course, like the MD said, the behavioral pattern are quite very important. In fact, there is this ladder that I usually will draw, which is your growth ladder within an organization. IQ is always at the base, right? Where you are so good at what you do. And a lot of times for HR professionals, it's always an retention plan. Oh, because you're a high performing salesperson, let's make you a team lead. And a lot of times when they get to that team lead position, they struggle to lead others because the mindset shift hasn't taken place, which is I'm now responsible for leading the sales team to be successful, as against previously where I was a successful salesperson, right? So I think in terms of behavior, what are the three major quotient of major skills? I think when you have the IQ, which is technical skills, as I have said, is very good. Relationship quotient is very important. Emotional quotient is very, very important. And lastly, I think political quotient. If you need to get to the top of your career, you need to go beyond just the technical know-how. You need to build relationship. You need to develop a level of emotional intelligence, and you also need to develop your level of political intelligence.
Wow, that's really good. So aside from having IQ, there's the EQ, the relationship quotient, and also even the political side. Thank you so much. So my last question actually would be that if there's one thing you would want every aspiring leader to learn before they are handed a team, what would it be?
I think that
Okay. Okay. Before you are handed a team, I would say, first of all, what should even be the criteria for promoting you into a team leadership position? And I always have a different opinion to this. And my opinion is always not really, based on even your last question, not really the guy who is technically fit. I always look at the guy who is big on influence. right? Because I understand that once you transition into that role of being a leader or a team lead, you assume into leadership. Leadership is influence. Influence is relationship, right? So if you are very good when it comes to building relationship with people, you are going to definitely just thrive. In fact, you don't need to be in any training session or leadership training session to even kickstart. But if you are actually struggling in building relationship with people and all of those things, then it becomes quite difficult for you to be able to lead them. So if there's one thing that I think that you need to increase when it comes to you before you get into a leadership position, will be your relationship management skills. Ability to build relationship with people, not transactional type of leadership, which is what do I give from people, but also what do I also give to people, and also what do they also give to me. If I have such mindset, the leadership is actually going to be at least a bit of good journey for you when you're starting. That will be my position. Yeah.
Okay, so taking it away from that, I think also to add to that, it's a journey, capacity and knowledge. Also, so after looking at the other angle of knowing how to manage people, relationship, and managing yourself, right? So you need to build capacity because the journey will not always be smooth. There are times where you'll be in rough situations. Your capacity to be resilient needs to come in, to be able to lead yourself and lead other people to follow, to resolve complicated issues, conflict management, capacity building in terms of relationship management that he has said, be able to rally around and muster people, resources, and every other thing to gravitate towards resolving them. So you will face different issues according as you go. You need to be able to gravitate your way through, and knowledge will help you a lot. So if you don't have them every time, you also rely on how to connect one or two persons who are cash reader. You cannot go wrong asking the right questions.
Absolutely. I think that point is quite very valid around capacity development, because I usually would say that if you're a leader who also do not have that capacity, people can immediately tell.
Yes.
They can also immediately tell to say you have no capacity.
Imagine you sitting in the board leading quality people.
Exactly.
And you cannot tap your knowledge.
Exactly. In fact, there's this joke I usually make that some leaders are like travel agents. You know what they do? Keep sending people to where they have never been. Travel agents will tell you how Dubai is so fantastic, looking so good. But trust me, they have people left the airport for us, right? So a lot of times also for us as leaders, we need to continuously grow that capacity, just like Emmy said, grow our capacity such a way that we can, because people are always looking at you. They are waiting to get from you. So you must have something to share with them. So you also, yes, you're in a leadership position. That doesn't make learning knowledge stops for you. You also have to keep on increasing your capacity so that you can keep giving to the people that you also lead. So I completely agree with this position on this.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you both for your answers. And I think if there is one thing I've also picked from this is the fact that your technical skill doesn't qualify you to actually lead a team. So there are other criteria to actually being a leader. And also when it comes to capacity building and also managing of relationships and all that. Well, this has been an entirely awesome session. I was able to pick one thing. I feel every other person that's watching this would also get something from it. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.